Yep. There we go.
But I just wanted to come back here and listen to your insights. Everybody is coming back to this room. All the speakers are coming back to this room. And when you are able to show yourself on camera, and interact on the Zoom, that would be absolutely amazing. So we're going to close it off together. We're just going to do a quick round. And I first want to hear from the people who were not speaking. I see Sandra, you're still here. Ubad is still here. Sandra, how was it for you to listen to these amazing speakers? Let's just see if you're able to come on camera and share your insights.
I think Sandra's on a phone call right now, Laurie. She dropped it in the chat.
I see. Super. You're amazing. Still going strong and listening in. We've got Jackie. There you go. Absolutely amazing. We're just doing a quick round. I know we're over time, but I just want to value the integration of all of us. And I want to start with the people who were not speaking and how it was for you to observe and what you took out of this, using the feedback form, listening through how can I utilize and everything that I've been learning in my story. But also, what amazing stuff have you heard as compliments to others? Jackie, would you mind sharing how the experience was for you?
I thought it was amazing, actually. Everyone did such a great job, unique, to their style, to their personality, which was part of this, being very authentic. I learned the power of integrating stories and personal lessons learned throughout. And I don't know, there were just some very impactful ways that people use their body language, as you said, their tonality when they were speaking to really draw people in. So I took a lot of notes on what I would like to learn and integrate. So thank you all. This was great, really great.
That's so beautiful. And is there something specific that stood out to you? Because again, and we're going to hear from the speakers as well, like this might not be the most chill afternoon or morning ever in your life, right? Like this is a step, and you're all going to feel this. In week 8, you're going to feel the feels. You're going to be one day before. You're going to call me up. And like I've never had a speaking getaway where no one called me one day before. It's like, Lori, I don't want to do this anymore. And this time it happened again.
Right.
So know that this is all part of that. So the words you speak now really matter, because who spoke feels like, ah, I'm so happy that people love what I said. And I'm so happy that I did this, right? So is there something specifically that stood out to you?
I would say there's authenticity, right? I think that, just everyone did different versions of this. Hannah just spoke from the heart, off the cuff, right? And I do think it's that ability to speak not from your head but from your heart that makes the difference when you talk, because people feel that. And that's the one thing that really stood out to me as we went through this. Yeah.
Yes, so good. Do we all start to see how and what we're actually practicing? Right? When we understand the foundation, like we cannot speak from the heart when we're not clear. We cannot speak from the heart when we don't know what our stories are going to be. We cannot really open our heart when we don't know how to transition and engage the people, because then you're just talking about yourself, right?
Yep.
But when we understand how to do this, like the only reason Hannah was able to do this is because she's been implementing this, because she's
Yeah.
been practicing this, right? And now she says, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, okay, I know you don't know, but what if you would know? Oh, actually, yeah, of course you know, right? So we all have those stories, and we all have that, like, oh my God moment. Like, you know what? Maybe I did not prepare enough. Now my reputation goes down. Now, like XYZ, all these things that come to mind. But what you are all now able to experience is, wait a minute. What if that's actually a strength? Sandra, how was it for you? How was this experience for you? What did you take away from that?
Um, I really resonated with that the genuineness of everything. So like I just yeah, I really enjoyed Colin's talk. Nilsa, you blew me away because I was expecting it to just be like this financial, like and I glaze over. So I was like, just how you kind of like, I'm doing a story from yesterday, and that just kind of knowing you a little bit, I was like, what? So I thought that was incredible. Rocky and Carmen, you guys, you know, I can, as a grandmother, I can really relate to wanting that. Like, I just felt you guys. So I was really just impressed by everybody and just the emotion. I think the emotion was really what kind of got me.
Yeah. And when we talked about like the through line and the aim, right? Like the aim, number one of the 4 steps in the transformational speaking steps, right? The aim is on one side to create the transformation, to create a through line. On the other side, when we look from the sales perspective, right? People buy from 2 types of people. People either just like themselves or they aspire to
You like us?
right? So when we're coming from that sharing stories, which by the way, Carmen and Rocky, like, because I've seen your video, like we all had our one-on-ones, like the growth that you've been through from that moment to this is like remarkable, so good. And how many sub stories you added and how many C's, you know, like this is going to be fun for you to evaluate for yourself. Like what C's did you see? What happened there, right? So many different scenes. So when we look through a sales perspective, like what and this is kind of like I'm just excited for you, Carmen and Rocky, because what I personally believe is you're not selling multi-generational living. You're selling communication with your kids. And when that's the through line, the high ticket offer might be living together. But I think for right now, to create a massive community, to be incredibly wealthy, you know, that's going to be such an amazing through line based on your story, right? Who feels that that is absolutely something they can sell because they show it, not because they tell you, not because they share, this is a framework of how to communicate with your adult children, but they showcase it through their stories, right? So whatever they're going to sell it because they're just amazing throughout the whole process. Everybody, right? So beautiful, beautiful awareness. Ubat, well, how is it for you? Oh, Colin, by the way, welcome. You just got a lot of compliments, so make sure you watch the replay.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize we were still online.
Yeah, we just took
Thank
a
you.
little extra time because it's so valuable to capture this moment. Ubait.
Absolutely.
Yes, no, thank you. This was a great experience listening to all the other speakers who have been part of the program for 8 weeks and kind of learned from how they went through the process. And now that I am midway through the process, now I can tell you for sure I'm very anxious, just you may expect a call from me one day prior that, I have a lot of stories that I want to integrate and I want to tell them the right way as I build my program, my coaching program, since this is the first time me doing it. So learning all these stories, the way all the speakers have told them in a authentic, heart-centered way and with the aim in mind and following all the frameworks that you have taught in the program so far. And so it's an amazing experience and I look forward to it as I build my story that integrates with the program I'm creating for my ideal audience.
So good, man. And now, because now it's going to be fun for you, but and Jackie and Sandra and Mari for the replay, is let's now go to the speakers and also share a little bit how you experience this, right? Because I've seen the prep session. I see the growth for all of you. Colin, man, like your dialogue. Like I know you've been working on this. I know you've been working on the time traveling. You did so well. Nilsa, you pivoted right before. You were authentic and yet you were able to get back on track exactly how you planned it. Like you all really outdid yourself. You really all outdid yourself. But now, and this is from the perspective, like you're able to see now a result, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's now hear the backstory of how they felt and how they prepared, just for all of us to normalize this, to humanize this. Because it's not necessary to put something or someone on a pedestal, because now you're projecting your own thoughts and your own internal dialogue onto them. But let's hear it from the source. So who of you would love to share how this was for you, and what you've experienced like right before as well? Colin, you want to start?
Yeah, I can go first, Laurie. I would say I was pretty apprehensive about it, to be honest. Especially like considering, I've already been speaking for a good few years and I've spoken in front of big audiences. I was pretty nervous about this one because, you know, it was the first time that I sort of tried to put into practice what I've been learning over the last few months. And as you know, I really changed around my talk a lot, and you know, I just was kind of worried maybe that something would go wrong. So I definitely I just practiced very very hard over the last week, and it wasn't actually easy to fit in the practice because I was competing last week and I had a very very busy few days. But I'm just kind of very happy with the end result and really motivated now. I feel like I can even put more into practice. I'm just kind of looking forward over the next month to going over, reviewing the course again, and seeing how I can make the talk even better. But I'm very, very happy with the progress, and just kind of super excited now for the future to put more into practice.
Yeah, so well done. Some snippets that I'm hearing, Colin, even though you're doing this basically, like I wouldn't even call it a side hustle because your main focus is still being an athlete, but basically your other main craft is already speaking. You're already going out there sometimes multiple times a week in front of live audiences. And still you're like, okay, let's practice this thing. Let's go through the course. Now you're going for a third time, right? So for everybody who's now listening and like, oh my God, this is going to be me in 4 weeks, like this is going to be in the next one. Just know that this is what it takes. And you are working with you. Like it's not comparing to another speaker, it's comparing to you and to your own goals. For some of you, the main goal is confidence, right? The main goal is not even the talk itself, it's more a byproduct. So just compare yourself to you and just learn from the experiences that people have and how you can apply this for yourself. Anyone else? Carmen or Rocky, Nilsa?
You want to say anything?
Yeah, just I couldn't believe the flow. I was listening to Hannah talk about flow, and we said before we started, let's just have fun with this. And we weren't sure what was going to happen, but we just felt the energy from the group, from you, Lori, and all your preparation, and we just are so grateful. And the other speakers, we were just going, we weren't taking notes, sorry. We're just like waiting for our turn. And but gosh, Nilsa, you just nailed it. You created a whole new speech.
Yeah, you had to.
I just, every one of the speakers I was going, oh my gosh, I was so self-focused. I didn't even think, what other people were going to say, Loved it.
So good, so good. What I'm hearing with that is let's just have fun with it. Who felt the fun from them? Right? They were just really having fun. And when we get in that energy, we talked about the fear of speaking. When we're having fun, we're not in survival. When we're in survival, we forget our stuff because the information that's stored is not part of survival. When we focus on survival, we start to lose our track because we are not focused on it. We're focused on fun. We're focused on creation. We're focused on delivering. We're focused on adding value. It's a different energy. It's a different flow. And it's also something we can train. What might happen is when you practice in fun, you're practicing flow, and then I'm introducing you and you're like, whoa, this is not fun. Like I see myself really big, this is happening, right? But that's the muscle you're training. So don't be too hard on yourself. Sometimes, like the first ever time that I spoke, I was just speaking and I wasn't really present there. I was just looking at myself afterwards. I'm like, oh, this is what I said. That was kind of smart, I guess. I know. Right? So this is a muscle we're training because the more we lean into that discomfort, what Nilsa said, she's now going for the 4th time. Now, Nilsa, if you share this version with the first one, like, whoom, like it's night and day. But also the first one was amazing because it was so much better than how you started. And that is what this journey is about. It's a never-ending sequence of repetitions, right? Nilsa, last one before we wrap up.
If I'm honest, I'm terrified of this is hard for me. I live in numbers. I talk to numbers all day, and then putting words out there and if I'm not articulating right, and you have the Spanish and the English. So it's terrifying, but I keep showing up.
Yeah.
I keep showing up, and I guess that is, and I'm going for a fourth one. And until I don't have a message dialed in that I can articulate what this means to me, the mission of finances and the possibilities and the families and all the things I say, until I don't have that dial in, I'll be here 10 more rounds if I have to. And this is the place where I feel safe. You guys are my people. So if I said something wrong, fine. I'll fix it for the next one. And I just feel safe here. And that's why I have a goal to get that message out, and I'm working on it. And this is the place where I come to develop myself as a transformational speaker. So I'm very grateful for everybody and for all the comments. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And I hope you all feel that. You know, that is kind of like the vision that I have, is I'm on a crazy ass mission to make the biggest fear fun. And I want you to feel safe, and I want you to feel that whatever is on your mind, whatever is on your heart, you're able to share that, and you're able to see what's it like behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, so you're able to shine in that spotlight, because that's what you deserve, that's what your audience deserves, and that's what we're all working on, and it's never ending. It is never ending. So how many rounds you want to go, you'll always be welcome in this community. So for now, we're way over time. Just know that the replay will be up. For all the speakers and for all the future speakers, what you're going to get is you're going to get your clip. Okay, so the tech people will create the clips for you. We'll get that to you hopefully this week already. So you're able to either share that with your audience, watch that yourself in the momentum, create social media clips from that, use that as momentum to share with your audience. And for everybody who was watching and was able to, who used the Notion feedback form, was able to use that, right? You were able to get your own notes in there. So start to leverage that to create your next version, but also as an extra bonus, why not just share a video for every person who spoke today and share the feedback of what you loved most in a personal WhatsApp? Who's willing to do that? It's 5 videos, right? It might take some time, but it's a beautiful way to start practice the speaking muscle more and more, and share that as a gift with others, and they will do that back to you. And that's the cool part of this whole thing. It's just always giving and taking. Giving and receiving. So with that said, I'm so proud of all of you, also the listeners, because it also is a craft to listen with presence and to listen with an open heart. Can we get a big round of applause for Luke as well? For everybody who's never seen Luke, Luke is now the success coach of the Public Speaking Academy. So you're gonna see his face more and more. He's an absolute heart-centered, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person. He's done the Public Speaking Academy twice himself. And he's now making sure that everybody now, this group is growing, that no one slips through the cracks, and you're all supported to create a beautiful performance in week 8.
Yeah. And he was #1 in comments, I could tell.
Yes, he is.
He had
Is
lots
there
of good
anything you want to
comments for
say,
everybody.
Luke, before we close off?
Yeah, thanks. Well, it was such a pleasure to be in this room with you guys who are preparing. And I love the engagement, in the chat. And it was so wonderful to see everybody to speak, because I've been on some of the calls, and I've seen Nilsa speak before, and I've seen Colin with some comments. But I just thought it was outstanding. Carmen and Rocky, I've seen you show up your hands, and a little bit of a share in the community. But to see you all complete your talks today, it was just so beautiful, and I could just feel all of your heart through the screen. And I think that is what this is all about. It is different being able to do a speech, and being in person is different. Being able to show your heart right through a screen, not to a screen, but through a screen, is what I felt from every single one of you today. And I cannot wait to see more. It's such a joy to be in this group and on this journey, and I can't wait to see more.
All right. With that said, impact makers, I know Madi wants to connect Nilsa. I sent her the link, but I don't know where she's going. So we're going to close it off, because I also want to respect every single one of yours time. Just make sure you're going to create the video this time, not just what you learned, who you're grateful for, but send a beautiful feedback message to the people who are bravely speaking today. And then we're going to see each other. For the people who watched, we're going to see each other next week. And for everybody who is speaking, we'll connect privately. All right.
Are we putting this in the Academy WhatsApp or the community WhatsApp?
I would share the personal feedback personally with the people, because otherwise it's going to be crazy as well as videos.
Okay.
Your personal reflection moment, if you want to answer the 3 questions that we always do, that would be in the Academy WhatsApp group.
Right. Okay.
All right, you all. Amazing.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.